Hi, my name is Tammy Kaufman. I'm talking to you today for Rosewood Homeowners Cooperative. I happen to be the property manager for Cooperative Management Solutions. And today we're talking about your lease agreement. We are in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic, but we still need to get your lease done. And we're at a stay-home, order, so we're not able to have an in-person meeting like we would normally have. But we're going to improvise, and hopefully this video will be a nice little addition to seeing the paperwork yourself. First, I want to say it's a proprietary lease agreement. This is unique to a cooperative, and as Mary from Rock USA says, it's a gift because it's a 50-year lease agreement and it's renewable for the rest of your life. The notice to terminate the lease from the member to the cooperative is 30 days. So the cooperative gives you at least a 50-year commitment, and you can be out in 30 days. The member must be the owner and on title to the home. If you need help changing title, this is the website that you would go to do that. It's now done by the Building Codes Agency. It's not done by the Department of Motor Vehicles. Some of you with a little bit older homes probably remember when the DMV did it. There is an office in Coos Bay, but I believe that their public part is closed, so if you do need to change title, you'll have to do it online. If you're renting or subleasing, please contact our office. There is another option. Please do not fill out this lease agreement if you're not the title homeowner. There is an option, by the way, so don't worry about it. You can still stay in the home. We have another agreement. Now let's go over the lease. All right, so it should start out like this. It should say Rosewood Homeowners Cooperative Space Lease. You have a right to check with an attorney to review the lease with you if you'd like. If you don't do that, then let's go ahead and fill this out. So right here, you're going to put today's date, and then you're going to put the month here. And this just describes that it's ORS 62, which is the Oregon statute that governs cooperatives. The member of the household is you, and you'll put the member name here. Under space number, you probably need to go ahead and put your address. For example, 350 Brock, because you don't actually have space numbers. And it's in the Rosewood Park Place Mobile Home Park is what it used to be called, and so that's what we're referencing here. And the purchase in the cooperative membership fee of $100. The bylaws and the park rules were approved by the members in the last meeting that you had, and you're promising to pay the monthly payment, which is called a premium, and it'll be explained later in this document. You're affirming that you're entitled to the home, and that's why I mentioned that a moment ago. And then if there's anybody else listed on the title, you can go ahead and put their name here. If you need more space, there's a little bit of room to put a little bit extra in there. The cooperative was organized by the members to operate. You have the articles of incorporation, the bylaws, and the park rules, including any changes to the documents from park to time are collectively called the park documents, are incorporated into this lease for your reference. The cooperative members have approved these documents and will need to approve any changes to them. Also incorporated are any other written agreements attached to this lease, and at one time signing a later approved collectively other agreements. The parties agree to the bound to abide by these terms and conditions of the lease and incorporated documents and any amendments to them. So here the cooperative has given you a complete copy of the park documents and the other agreements, if any. The cooperative will make any amendments to these documents available to you. So here's where the member would sign, and there's one member per household. You acknowledge that you have received a complete copy of the park documents and other agreements, if any, and are familiar with their terms. The parties agree further to these terms, and I'm just going to summarize this, that you have a right to use the home site, you have a right to use 2 parking spaces, that all adults, household members will be listed on the lease, and that you'll get permission if anybody is going to stay with you longer than 20 days and 12 months. We have a way to do that, and that's in another video if you want somebody to come in temporary or permanently. The term of the lease is here. It's 50 years from the date of the first paragraph. And then down here it says it's renewable for another 99 years. Assignment. Upon your death, your membership shall terminate. Your heir or devisee, bequest, intestate, or These are legal terms for people that take over after you pass away. Basically, this section gives you your heirs 6 months to take care of it and continue to pay the member lease and be able to sell your house or move into it and become a member. Vacancy. If you would like to sell your house, it has to be member owned. So you'd have to sell it to somebody that applies to be a member, somebody that's already a member. There is no subleasing. If you need to leave your house vacant for more than 9 months out of the year, you need to notify the cooperative board. And somebody needs to be local that can be available in the event of emergencies. There's no assignment. In the event of the home site, they have to be a new member or a current cooperative member that would transfer and sign a new lease agreement. For sales and admission of new members, anybody that moves into the park after the date of acquisition, which I believe was March 2nd, must become a member of the cooperative. The cooperative will not exclude low and moderate income people from being members, and in the event you sell the home, you have to give a preference to a low-income buyer. To do that, you have to make sure you market to low-income people for at least 30 days. And low income is defined as 80% of the area median income for Douglas County. And in your application packet that will eventually come, will have that information. If you wish to make an on-site sale of your home, you must give written notice to the cooperative stating your intention to sell, estimated date of sale, name and address of the selling agent. It's your responsibility to supply potential buyers with information regarding the requirement that the buyer become a member of the cooperative. Finished reading that. Your premium payment, a lot of you will know this is rent. And this number right here should be $430. And there will be a rent increase that you voted on, and we will send out a notice when that happens. It will go to $449. And for those of you that are used to the other way where you had water and sewer separate, it's now included in your premium, and it covers all of these items here. Insurance for the co-op, property taxes and such. And this is your carrying charge. This is what it costs to run the cooperative, and this will only go up or down based on a vote of the members. And we usually do that once a year at budget time. As a member, you'll be expected to pay electric, gas, telephone, cable, internet, garbage, and landscape maintenance for your own space, and then water and sewer are paid by the cooperative. Your payment, and that would be beginning March 2. You can actually put the next month if you'd like in this section here. This is where you make your payments, and then it has to be paid by the 10th of the month, or you get a $25 premium or $25 late fee as an additional premium. I believe this is a change from your original. I think you had to, on your former agreement, you had to pay by the 5th, so you get an extra 5 days. It's still due the 1st, as you can see up here, but you have a little bit longer grace period. Taxes, you agree to pay your property taxes on your house. The cooperative will pay the taxes on the cooperative land, but you need to pay your own. There's no waiver if we accept the partial payment. We're not waiving our right to collect the whole amount. If you want to terminate your lease, your membership and the membership fee will be returned according to the bylaws and premiums payments owed. If you intend to terminate your lease and your membership, you provide 30 days notice to the cooperative. If you are in a holdover tenancy, which is extremely rare, your premium payment would be 125%. Termination by the cooperative, you can be evicted from the co-op. Again, it's a rare thing. Nobody wants to. The idea is safe and stable housing for long term. But you can be removed for non-payment. You can be removed for breaking a rule, a bylaw, or a lease provision. It's a 3-day notice for unpaid premium, and a 30-day notice for other violations unless it's a repeat, and then it's a 15-day notice. And then there is a chance for you to ask for a hearing, and you might want to read through that section pretty clearly. But it's pretty rare that you would terminate a membership. Upon termination of the lease, your membership is automatically terminated. And if you paid your membership, it'll be returned according to the terms in the bylaws. You do continue to owe premiums until the date of termination is effective, but the amount of the base premium doesn't increase during the period of the notice of intent to terminate and the date the termination becomes effective. The reason that is in there is if you're not a member of the cooperative, there is a higher rate that you will pay as a quote-unquote tenant rather than you would as a member. Section 7 is your further obligations. You are obligated to comply with the lease terms, park rules, and Oregon law. You are to participate with cooperative management. Now, some of you are going to be future board members and you have that ability, and some of you don't have that ability and you might just be serving on a committee, volunteering to do some cleanup or doing something, maybe to help doing a mailing or participating with a Facebook page, maybe helping keeping a list. It doesn't have to be a board position, but y'all might start thinking about the mindset of volunteering for the cooperative when your turn is up. And so if everybody does a little bit of volunteer over a long period of time, then it makes it easier on everybody. You're going to use your home site for personal residence. Household is provided in the lease. You conduct yourself and your household members reasonably. You're not to disturb or threaten other members or other tenants, respective guests, household members, invitees. Pay any damage caused intentionally or negligently by you or your household members or guests. So if you have a guest come over and you want to take care of the people that you invite into the cooperative. Home site and site home maintenance. You're responsible for all the repair of your site and your home, including the maintenance and utility hookups and the paved parking spaces, with the exception of anything underground, such as underground water, electric, and sewer systems. Those repairs would be by the cooperative unless it was negligence by you. So if you drove a heavy tractor over your space and it broke the line, that would be your responsibility. But if it just wore out over time, then it would be the co-op's responsibility. Improvements. Any improvements to your home site, including and limited to additional storage sheds, decks, and fencing, must be approved by the cooperative and in accordance with the community rules. You may be required to get any permits required by Winston or Douglas County laws. Could also be state law. Landscaping. Any additions to landscaping become the property of the cooperative and should not be removed without written consent of the cooperative. I believe that means if you plant a rose garden, you can't take it with you without permission. Insurance. You shall purchase insurance for your house. This is a good idea just for you in general, but it also protects vacating the home site and disposal of personal property. Once the lease terminates, you have to vacate the home site and leave the home site in better condition or as good a condition as when you got it. Most of your homes are pretty new, and the chances of you actually removing one from the site is pretty limited. It would probably only be like a flood or fire. When I say flood, I mean like your pipes burst and caused significant damage to your house. That would probably be the only reason you guys would move your home. But if you did do that, you'd have to make it decent when you left it. Abandonment of home. If you abandon your house, paragraph 6, you agree the cooperative can consider the home site abandoned and vacated for more than 30 days without prior notice, and also if the premium is paid. So if you just leave the place and we don't see you around for a month and you haven't paid, then we're going to do an abandonment on your house. So please, if you're going to be taken off, let us know. If you have problems paying your premium, please let us know. Removing your home following termination. If you need to vacate the home site, if you fail to remove your home, you agree the home shall be considered abandoned. We kind of gone over that. Use of hazardous materials. You shouldn't use anything hazardous on your site or store anything hazardous at your site, and it lists what those items are. Your further obligation covenants are both parties. You have a right to quiet enjoyment, subject to the terms in the lease of the park documents, and the cooperative grants you the right to peaceably and quietly have and hold and enjoy the home site during the lease period. And that's kind of a legal term, quiet enjoyment, and I'm not an attorney. Quiet enjoyment is typically title related, in addition to some of the ideas of actually somebody disturbing you. But if somebody were to come in and say, I want to live on your site, you can say, no, I have a lease agreement that says I have a right to quiet enjoyment, so leave me alone. Utilities and other service. You're responsible for repair to the home and the home site and utility lines on your home site. And we mentioned that earlier, that the underground is pretty much the co-op and above ground is yours. Park maintenance. A cooperative shall maintain the roads that are in the boundaries of the park, not otherwise maintained by Douglas County or the City of Winston. and then we'll maintain the common areas. You will agree that independent of your covenant to pay the premium, you will still pay the cooperative premium for any reason the cooperative fails to perform these services. These covenants must be independent because the cooperative must have the money from your premium to pay the cooperative's loan payments for the purchase of the park and other bills. So that means if there's a pothole that you want fixed and they can't afford to do it right now, you still have to pay your premium and deal with the defect in another way. Condemnation: in the event that any other park is condemned by eminent domain or something, a power greater than any of us, then that will handle that. Damage and destruction is explained here. This is another reason why it's good to have fire insurance and liability insurance. Loan payments and park subordination of the lease. This is a part that the co-op borrowed money, and that if for some reason the co-op doesn't pay the loan and they're foreclosed on, that this lease is basically assumable to the loan, and you'll pay directly to the lender. Homesite access: if we need to come and inspect your site, whether that would be a contractor or the board or the property management office, we're supposed to give you 72 hours advance notice. If it's an emergency, we can give you 24 hours after we enter. It's rare that we would be entering your space. It would probably be some sort of an inspection by a third party that we would want to enter your space. And again, most of your spaces and units are in good shape, so there wouldn't be much of a reason for us to come by. Repairs: if the home site's not in compliance with the park rules and we give you lots of notice and you still don't comply, we have a right to come and do the repairs. Limitation of liability: you agree to bear risk pertaining to the manufactured home and other personal property on the site. That means the cooperative is not insuring your house or your space. You have to do that. The cooperative will be liable for damage caused solely by the gross negligence or intentional misconduct of the board and officers, and then only to the extent of the cooperative's insurance. Notices: if you want to send a notice to the cooperative, if notice to you by the cooperative will be done if given to you in person, or mailed to the address of the home site, or mailed to your last known address. If you want to give notice to the cooperative, it'd be deemed duly given if you hand deliver to the cooperative at the specified address in the park rules. We receive notices, or if no address is specified, the location you pay your premium, or the cooperative's registered to agent. So typically you would serve a notice to the board either to their P.O. box, or you would just go ahead and send it to us as your management company. If any clause in this is deemed invalid, it's severable. Typical legal contract waiver: performance of any term in the lease is not a waiver for future provisions. This lease is the entire agreement, and if you would like, you can record this with the Douglas County. It's traditionally not done. Attorney fees and costs, prevailing party, also a normal lease terms. Now here's the part where you need to fill it out. If you have a loan on your home, please enter the mortgage information in here and who has the security interest. Household information, your phone number, main email. If you don't have an email, put NA. Occupant names: this would be your members and all your children and any other adults. If they're under 18, please check this box. If I ever need to send you a notice, I typically send it to everybody's name, and I don't like to send notices to children. So if you would check that off, then we'll make sure we don't put that in our software. This is where you would sign as a member, and then anybody else listed on the title of the house would sign here. And then you'll mail this in to the co-op, and the co-op representative will sign this, and we'll get you a copy. I know this is a really long video, and I apologize for that, but it's the only way I could think of to get this information out to you without actually being there in person and talk to you about it. If you need to contact us, this is our phone number. This phone, these two numbers both ring to the same phone. Stephanie typically answers that phone. This is the email address, and this is your mailing address if you want to send your, this is where your rent goes, if you have any questions. But this actual lease will go back to this. So you're going to mail this lease to the Rosewood Co-op, P.O. Box 290 in Winston, and you should also have a membership agreement, and you should also have your $100 membership fee can go to that address. If you need to make payments on that, then please send your payments there. Don't send your membership payment with your rent. That goes separate to the board directly. Also, I believe in this package you will also have the membership agreement to fill out and sign. That's signed by the member. And you'll also have possibly a security deposit agreement. Many of you had a security deposit. If you did, we filled this out for you. This document will tells us that you're claiming this deposit is yours, and tells us what to do with it, whether you want it refunded, applied to your rent, or applied to your membership fee. You have the option to do all those. Have a great day.